Well, good Monday morning. You know what time it is. It's time for that morning drive. So come on, let's go. Safety first, guys. Got to put that seatbelt on. How's everyone doing today? We finally got some rain here in East Alabama. I know, and everybody's needing it bad. Everything here was very, very dry. Even the creek down below our house completely dried up. So the rain has been welcoming for sure. I posted a video yesterday about our green beans. Guys, we planted those in our front bed, that one that we built out of pallets that we had squash in earlier this summer. We planted I planted our contender green beans. When was it? Back in September, I believe. Planted our contender green beans because we had lost our entire crop of Kentucky Blue Lake over the summer. So far, I have picked about 3 quarts of green beans, which is not a lot by any means. My goal was to try to get at least 12 so that I can put 12 in the cabinet. I'm snapping them and putting them in freezer bags and putting them in the freezer until I have enough to run a batch in the canner. Like I said, my goal is 12. That'll give us a quart of green beans a month. Doesn't sound like a lot. We do like green beans just by themselves with a little bit of butter and some garlic salt is our favorite way to eat green beans. So we're fingers crossed for those 12 quarts this year out of those contenders. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out, guys. This is a very, very small garden, raised bed type garden, planter style, right in front of our house. So it definitely shows you that you can grow food in some of the smallest places, in places that people don't realize that's what it is. This is right in front of our house out near the road. If you're just driving by, you just see these beautiful green plants flowering with little petite purple flowers. Most people have no idea what they are. And that's good. If they did, then that would be a problem because I probably wouldn't get any green beans. But nonetheless, go check out yesterday's video about the green beans, and we'll hopefully have more to come on those. So what's been going on the last week? Well, as many of you know, my nephew was in a car accident. This past Thursday was a week ago. Still, he needs lots of prayers. He is still in the trauma ICU as of yesterday morning. I'm not sure when they're planning on moving him out. They have gone in and amputated all but 8 inches of his leg. So he will need a full leg prosthetic. I'm not really sure how he's going to pay for it. So we'll probably have a lot of fundraisers and things for him to help figure out how to pay for that. I don't think he has medical insurance, but that's just one of those things that we've just not questioned and I've not asked. I did drive over Tuesday and see him. They did that procedure Tuesday evening after I left, but I did see him Tuesday morning. One minute he's fine and the next he's not, which is to be expected. His mental health is my main concern. For the most part, like I told him, the doctors can see physically what's wrong with you, and they can run tests to physically pinpoint something 95% of the time. But your mental health, and gosh, you know how I am about mental health and self-care. Your mental health, they can't see. They don't know. And he looked at me and he said, "Aunt BJ, I close my eyes and I have nightmares." And he said, "It's hard to sleep and I'm struggling." And I said, "Well, have you told the doctors?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, you really need to. They need to know what's going on so that they can help you." So please, if you're of that type, if you're the praying kind, and regardless of who you pray to, I don't care. Or even if you don't pray, just keep him in the back of your mind and send well wishes to him. Like I said, it's hard on the entire family. It's hard for me to see my 6'8" nephew as a amputee. They did surgery on his wrist and his hand. They put pins and plates in it. He can move his fingers, which is good, but we don't know if he'll be able to have any range of motion to be able to bend his wrist. So, sorry guys, like I said, it's hard on all of us. So please keep him in the back of your mind and think about him. And also be very mindful of motorcyclists. I've almost hit one before. It was actually a police officer. Never saw him. So I'm very much aware now as to paying attention to the road and paying attention to those on motorcycles. All right, on to some other things. We've kind of touched base on green beans and my nephew. So Bunny Barn, we are expecting babies this week. Lola and Honey Bun are due this week. So hopefully we'll get plenty of kits out of those. I still have not processed those 5. I may try to do that tonight when I get off, just so that I can have them ready, or I may wait and do them on Wednesday. I don't know. I've got to get them done. We need the space in our barn. Definitely need the space, and cut down on feed costs. There's no reason to keep them longer. They're at full weight. So that still needs to be done. Broccoli, we planted broccoli. I do got a video coming up about it. We had something get in our broccoli and eat all the leaves. Does anyone know what it is? We'll show you how we're treating that and how we're dealing with that. Now these guys, our broccoli is in containers as well. When we dug our sweet potatoes, we put 4 broccoli plants in there and 2 in a container that we actually planted potatoes in that something dug up too, besides us. So we will get a video coming this week, hopefully, on our broccoli and telling you guys about the mysterious thing that got in our broccoli and eat the leaves. Let's see. Yes, Saturday was a very long day for me. I canned 12 pints of chow chow. 12. I think that brings us up to about 2 dozen total in the end. I think my husband's given away a jar to the guy that comes, our exterminator. I think he got a jar of it. But I counted 12 pints yesterday. I did 4.5 pints of lima beans. I know, an odd number, but I had like 1 pound of lima beans in like a partial bag. So it literally was not enough. It was too much to make to add on to the 4 quarts, but not enough to make a full quart. So I just grabbed a jelly jar and did a half pint, which is fine. That's enough to dump out for one of us to eat. I also did 2 pints of chili. I had made chili last week and had it in the fridge. Went ahead and put it in pint jars. When I processed my lima beans, went ahead and processed my chili at the same time. Pints process at 70 minutes for meats and beans, so they sealed right up. So we'll have chili on the shelves. Canning season, thankfully, I've kind of slowed down a good bit. Still have some tomatoes left from Paisley and I picking a couple weekends ago. Several of them have turned red. The red ones will go in the freezer to make sauce or whatever it is we plan on doing with those. And then the green ones, what's left, I think I'm going to try to open kettle. Yes, I know, guys. That is my canning practices I do in my kitchen, and I okay them for my family. So I realize open kettle is not approved by the powers that be in the canning world, and that's okay. You choose what is safe for your family and how you want to, what practices that you want to use. But I am going to try to do open kettle in green tomato wedges so that we'll have them hopefully to be able to fry through the winter. I do like fried green tomatoes. My husband, not as much as I do, but I do like fried green tomatoes. All right. So I have tomatoes left to do. We still have peppers for pepper relish and jalapenos for cowboy candy in the freezer. So we still have those to do. And we managed to pick a few peppers the other day. Paisley and I went out after the frost, and there were still a few things left. A couple of bell peppers, some banana peppers, and a couple of jalapenos. So we snagged those off. The frost had not gotten to them. The plants, of course, were dead, so we needed to get them off anyway. Garden cleanup is still ongoing process. I had wanted to get some collards in the ground. I'm kind of afraid at this point it's too late. Even if we plant plants, I don't know that they'll make it. We are coming up the 1st of November tomorrow, so I'm not sure if it would be okay to go ahead and get plants in the ground still. So I'm going to do some little bit of research on that and hopefully get that, because we enjoy greens. I like collards. They're more of a mustard and turnip kind. They like those. They prefer those over collards. To me, I just don't like the texture. I don't like the fuzziness. And then some people don't like collards because they're a little bit tougher and a stronger flavor. So it's all a personal preference as to what you like. The barn is on hold. I do need to get back on that, but with the rain and everything going on with my nephew, I kind of stopped on it, so I do need to get back on it. I wanted to get the feed room and the chicken barn done before winter. We are expecting to be in the 70s and I think even the 80s the following week, or the next week or so. So it's still warm enough that we can get it done. It's just a matter of finding time to get it done. Of course, now when I get off work, it's dark, so it makes it even more difficult. The problem with the barn is not the building portion of it and getting it done, it's getting the area cleaned up. I have to get all that moved, and I have to have help. I can't just move a lawnmower that's not running and it may not have a wheel. I can't do that. So we're moving where my husband stores his recycled lawnmowers, if you will, his lawnmowers that people have left or he's bought to get parts off of or what have you. We're moving those out of the way, and it's a slow process to get everything moved in order for us to do that. So that's that. And so the barn hopefully will be going on. Hopefully I can get the area cleaned up, and even if I have to run lights out there to work in the evenings, that's fine. Like Saturday, after I did all that canning, we still went out and busted firewood and moved firewood, and we finally got the entire pecan tree cleaned up from down the street, dumped in our yard. My niece and her husband came up last Sunday and we did that. So we got that done. We've got most of it stacked. I've got a good bit, probably 2 loads busted that's got to be moved and stacked still, and then I've probably got several more loads to bust. So it's a slow process as well because I don't have lights down there. It is something that I need to look into and getting a light in that direction, because it looks like it's going to be one of those projects that I'm just going to have to do when I can in the evenings. And without the light, it's already dark at 6 o'clock. We're about to have a time change. With the time change, it's going to be dark at 5. So I really need to get some type of lighting situated down there so that we can get things done in the evenings. There's a lot of things that I've got going on, a lot of projects that I need to be working on. Of course, I'm working both jobs still, which is a challenge. I've really considered letting my part-time job go, but I actually enjoy it. It's aggravating that I don't seem to get time off that I need, or like yesterday I worked when I could have been at home doing stuff. But the extra little bit of money to buy feed or to cover grocery cost, or in that extra few hours away from home sometimes is a good thing. I've made some great connections working there. I've met lots of other people that are also the like mind of us. So that's a good thing for me, to be able to have those connections outside of my full-time job and my home, to be able to connect with other people, with other homesteaders. I did get asked about making dog food out of the rabbit scraps. They asked for a video of that. I have not had time to do that. I don't do a lot of videos in my house, as most of you know. I live in an older house. It was built in the 30s. It's an old kitchen. So, you know, like I said, my home, my kitchen, my practices, but some people may look at it and go, oh my God, it's not a brand new kitchen. It's not a granite countertop and this big, nice, fancy stainless steel stove and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. So I've kind of put off doing that, but I am going to get it done. I'm going to get started on that video, as I know most people ask about it quite often. And I also want to do a video when I get ready to do my rabbits. I'd like to video the processing of the rabbit, as far as how I cut it up and how I package it and put it in our freezer. I would love to be able to do a video where you actually process from start to finish. However, I kind of feel like it could possibly be banned and go against standards. I need to figure out a way to do that and a platform in order to post that on, so that it's safe and it's not being removed. So if anyone has any ideas on that, that would be great. Like I said, I'd love to be able to share that with people. It's a very simple and easy process. Some people think it's very difficult, and it is not. Processing rabbits is super easy. Not as easy as processing quail. I've seen a video on it, and it is super, 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 super easy. They basically just snip and cut and rip and tear, and that's it. So rabbits is sort of kind of the same way. But definitely something I want to show you guys and share with you. So guys, I'm at work today, so y'all have a great day. Bye.